Hello everyone. So in this video, I will explain you the uploading file architecture. I will give you the high-level design overview followed by a low-level design overview. So, so the high-level design overview will be look like this. Here the idea is instead of sending a file from the front end to backend and then backend to storage, we are directly gonna send a file from our front end web app to the respective storage. And here the storage which we are using is the Azure Blob. Now, in case if you are not aware about the Azure Blob Storage, then you need to learn about it. So basically, in order to upload a file to Azure Blob, we need some sort of SaaS token. So that particular part will be come from the backend server. Yeah. So in the front end computation, so here, so here the user firstly interact with our front end web app, where he will select a file which he needs to upload. After selecting a file, then the front-end computation will follow this particular loop. A user can select multiple file at once. Okay, so this computation can be in one loop as well for each file. Uh, so after selecting a file, then we are gonna calculate the MD5 value, which will be unique for every file. Basically, a MD5 value resembles a unique hash value, which will be calculated based on the file content. And then after calculating that file MD5 value, we are gonna check whether that file MD5 value will be existent in our database or not. Because every time when we are uploading a file to the Azure Blob Storage, then we are gonna save its metadata to our database as well. Okay, so before going further in our loop, we are going to check whether that particular MD5 value is exist or not. So in this way, we are preventing replication of our data. In case if it is exist, then we will gonna send alert info to the user that the file already uploaded. But in case if it is not there, then we are gonna uh, generate a SaaS token. This is the prerequisite for the Azure Blob, which you need to check it. Okay, and then so in order to take a SaaS token, we need to give a post call to our backend server. Then it will gonna give us the encrypted token, which we can use in our front end. So basically, that particular token help us to upload a file to the Azure Blob Storage. It will do all the authentication, all the authorization for us. Yeah, and then since the selected file can be very large, it can be in GB as well. So what we are gonna do, we are gonna divide. Firstly, we are converting our file data into the binary data. Once we converted a file data into binary data, then we are chunking it into multiple chunks. So here I have selected a 10 MB of chunk size. Okay, and then we can for each 10 MB chunk we can create one promise, and once that is uploaded to the Azure Blob storage, then only we are gonna create further promise for every 10 MB chunks. So at a time we can have 10 chunks running parallelly. Once all 10 chunks has been processed by the uploader, then we are gonna take further more than chunks. So here, in this way, the Azure Blob Storage will get the binary data, and once all the data uploaded to the Azure Blob Storage in form of chunks, then we are gonna do the metadata entry to our database. And the database table can be look like this, where we have the number of chunks for a file, an MD5 value, and the user who have uploaded that file. Okay, yeah, and in between the upload, if a user want to cancel the uploading, then he can then we can also give that functionality. So here something we can use in our code is something called abort controller. So that I will gonna show you in the low level design. So once the database entry has been done, then we can give a message to the user that the uploading file completed. So I have added the numbering for the high level design. Wherever there is an alternative of a step, I have added a point numbering over there. So finally, the low level design of the uploading file architecture will gonna look like this. In case if you are using the Angular, then maybe you can create one Azure Blob Storage service file which you can place inside your root directory of your project. So basically, over here, I have divided the functionality in this manner. Firstly, we have something called as upload file function, which will gonna receive the list of selected files, and then we can pass that particular list along with the file index to further upload function. So over here, firstly we are calculating the file MD5 value. Then even in order to calculate the file MD5 value, we are using a library called Spark MD5, which will help us to calculate the unique hash value by seeing our file content. Now, a file can be very large, right? So we can't able to load the entire file into the memory. And for this, in order to load the data, we can load the data in chunk by chunk manner. So that will prevent our web browser from getting stuck or run out of memory. And then in the third step, we have one more functionality which will gonna check the metadata existence. For this, we need to call our backend, and then backend can query the inside our database whether a particular MD5 value is exist in our database or not for the current user. Once all the checks are done, then we can call the upload file to blob function. So if you can read the command, then it will gonna look like this. uh, we are going to receive the current file, then based on the SAS token which we got from the backend server, we can access the Azure Blob functionality. Then since we are dividing the file binary data into fixed size chunk, then we are uploading the chunks 10 chunks at a time by creating a promise loop. If all the promises are finished, then create more promise until the file gets uploaded. Yeah, so this is it.